All right, everybody ready? All rise for the regular council meeting for the 13th of January for the city of Ellsworth. Let's say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Test. Before we get started with the consent agenda, we've got a new employee, a very important employee. This is the interim city administrator, Alan Dinkle. Alan comes to us with a wealth of knowledge, 36 years. And if you'd like to just tell us a few words about yourself and we'll get started.
A lot of people know, yeah, a little bit over 35 years. Served as city administrator in Oakley, city manager in Hoysden, city manager in Abilene, city administrator in Neodesha, and my last 9.5 years was in Junction City, where I was city manager, retired last summer. As some of you know, we had already made a decision to move to this community because my 3 daughters live in the vicinity, and so we did that, but we haven't built yet. We bought a lot, we haven't built yet. And meanwhile, we sold our house in Junction City. So since we didn't want to be living in the park, especially last week, we are actually living in Elmwood right now. We got a duplex down there. The duplex is up here, but these were full already. So we'll be transitioning here at some point in time and be interim as long as we need to be.
Very good. Thank you, Alan. Welcome aboard. Yep, thank you. And thank you for the job of the snowstorm. We'll talk more about it later, but outstanding helping us out there. Consent agenda. So we've got a bunch of different items on it. We've got the claim ordinance 801-1224. Approval of the December 9th public hearing minutes, approval of the 9th of December 2024 regular council meeting minutes. The 16th of December special council meeting minutes where we introduced Alan to the community. The approval of the December 2024 Airport Advisory Board minutes, the January 2025 Airport Advisory Board minutes, and the approval of bank authorization resolutions 2025-01, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And it looks like, are there any terminations in that?
No, that's not the next meeting.
Okay. That's fine. Welcome to the meeting.
Great for the meeting.
Anybody see anything? Okay, Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Councilor, sorry, go ahead.
I'll second it.
Councilor Bernard has made a motion to approve the consent agenda. Councilor Panzer has seconded that motion. Any debate, concerns? All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is Aaron on Zoom? Or we don't know.
I texted him the week. He's up there.
He's up there, yeah.
Okay, all right.
I'm here.
All right, for the next item on our agenda will be the petitions and delegations. This is a time for public comment. Some people will have to sign up before they make comment. We've got some very important people are going to make public comments.
Maybe they signed.
Or do they sign the wrong? So Harley, are you going to be speaking publicly? Yeah, they take that. Bree? All right, they probably signed the, this is a different list. Did you want to speak publicly?
No.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Okay, so nobody wants to speak publicly. All right, very good. We'll move on.
Yeah,
Oh, come on up.
okay. I don't know if I'm on the agenda or not, but it's my first time being here,
Sure.
so. I kind of wanted to raise some concerns about the property on, let me see if I can get this address. It's right on the corner of 8th and Colorado Street, and the address is 415 West 8th Street.
Can you tell us your name? Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm Joshua Helby.
Okay.
Okay, and so the story on this property, my girlfriend, Emily Herman, has ran a daycare out of there for probably about 8 months now, and the parking situation there is just a little bit, I mean, I know currently it's public parking, so by law, they have the right to park in front of and around that property, but it's just kind of a safety concern for the parents and the kids that attend that daycare, because they park on the right side and there's vehicles parked there overnight and stuff. And let's say they're in the driver's side and there's families with more than one kid there, you know, so they gotta pull their kids out and maneuver around all those vehicles. So what I was thinking, I don't know what the other daycares and centers in town they have for parking ordinance, but if there could at least be like a 30-minute or 15-minute parking zone there, just so parents can come and get their kids. Because there's been vehicles parked there with lumber sticking out of the back, like 5 foot out of the bed of a pickup. And she's had complaints from more than one parent about it, so. Our hands are kind of tied as far as like what we can do about it. And that's basically why I'm here, so.
Okay, do you have any questions for him?
I see your concern. I have to talk to the police chief. Chief, do we still have those 30-minute parking signs?
We do, already spoke with, Mr. Dinkle about this.
Okay,
We came to the conclusion that we probably didn't want to grant that because it is in the neighborhood.
okay,
It's not like having a daycare center and stuff where it's a full-fledged daycare center. It's actually a residence that is running a daycare out of residence.
Okay. All right.
but can you talk to the different neighbors and explain to
Tell
them
her
the
it's just a
situation?
block east of my house.
Yeah, can you talk to the neighbors
they're
and explain the
Colorado.
situation about parking?
Yeah, I've tried and they're aware, but I don't know, it's strange to me because there's curbside parking and it's mainly the same 3 vehicles that are there all the time, and there's curbside parking on his own side of the street, so that kind of confuses me. But, well, what can you do, I guess?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Josh. Okay, on to unfinished business. The Cowtown Committee request for the preschool park, I think, is gonna be delayed.
Yeah.
She's not here tonight, so we're moving on to the Eagle Scout proposal for the Gaga Ball Pit at Prescott Park by Mr. Gage
Yes.
Weir. Come on up. You wanna practice, get behind the podium, so. Yes.
I'm just gonna take a couple.
Oh, yeah, that's fine, yeah.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Gage Weeder, and today I'm presenting to you, my Eagle Scout project plan. Next slide. All right, so what is my project? My project is planning to set up a Gaga ball pit for the community, and here's some examples, or here's some pictures that I have of what they kind of look like, size of it. I'm not aware. I plan to do this at Prescott Park because it's a pretty central park in the town. And I plan to do it near the slide area right here and like in between where the swings are. And on the next slide, I have a better picture of where I want it to be. I chose right here because the land that it's at is more flat and you need flat land for Gaga ball pit. I was thinking of the empty lot that is kind of like up around over there, but I couldn't really find any ground for that. And I think it's better there anyway, because most people are around that area with the swings and the slide already there. All right, and why? So this provides a good Eagle Scout project for me to do. And the game itself is really fun. Me and a lot of other scouts here today would know, because there was Gaga ball pits set up both at the Cub Scouts and the summer camps that we went to, and they're used quite a lot for long periods of time. That's really fun. And this benefits the whole community with it being at the park, of course. And one main thing is the elementary school has events sometimes where they will all go down to Prescott Park. And I thought adding this would have more place of play for them as well. And another big thing is it's just doable, like I think I am actually able to build and do this project in the matter of only about maybe 8 months tops. Now, how it benefits the community, it provides more area of play, much like a basketball court or a soccer field, but it's smaller and it is a much cheaper price than building all of that. And of course, allows more physical activity with that than just the swings and slides and teach others they have there. And anyone, any age can play this as young as elementary schoolers and high schoolers like myself. All right, now the cost. I actually edited this recently. The cost for this is between 1,625 to 1,700. The reason why this price was skewed is because I accidentally forgot to apply the quantities of 24 here. But the resources that I would use are pretty easy to get. It's wood, pressure treated lumber, I should say, just some nails and rebar to anchor it in to the ground. And maintenance on this, I got this brought up when I talked to the city administrator on how the maintenance of this is, and it's really low. The main three ones are splitting or cracking of the wood, which would come in due time with it being used. And then loose screws and weeds, but weeds may not even be that big of an issue with it being used because you have to like lawnmower the ground down so it's like dirt and then you set in the wood. And especially if it's being used a lot, the surrounding area is probably trampled on, so not really any weeds are really grow. So the main ones are just loose screws and splitting woods. And fundraising. So the way I would fundraise money for this is, one thing is spray painting addresses on curbs, which is something me and my brother would do. We just go up to houses and ask if we could spray paint their address on curbs. And then I also have a pancake feed, which I would try and do at the American Legion, which would be free will donation, and a car wash with the kids of the kingdom, because I know at least when I was there, they would do car washes for like fire trucks and any other cars, and that would also be free will. All right, and that is the conclusion of my slideshow that I have for you. Is there any questions?
Can you explain what Gaga Ball is?
Yes, so it's much similar to dodgeball. What it is you are in a octagon pit, and you put a ball in. Really, any ball works to use. You just hit it. It has to be knees and below, and you're out. And it's just a simple game like that.
Can you repeat how much that project will cost?
Yes, the estimated price is $1,625 to $1,700. It may even go safe and go as high as 2,000 in this case. And that is with estimated tax as well.
So, go ahead.
Who would be in charge of the maintenance?
Maintenance, I was trying to think if the inmates at ECF could do that, because I thought, like, are they able to like go around and help the city with that stuff or no? I was wondering if the city could, that's essentially what I'm trying to ask. I'm not sure. That's what I was thinking.
It'd be part of the park. I mean, I think it'd be maintained by the city.
He, when he was
No.
speaking with Dustin,
No.
they talked to Troy to get approval of putting this in the park, to start with. And Troy said he gives his approval. The biggest maintenance for them would just be weed eating around it, and they didn't have an issue doing that. The only thing that Troy didn't discuss with me, other than ground maintenance, would be maintenance on the wood and screws in the actual pit itself.
If you're gonna use pressure treated, it's gonna be,
Yeah.
you're in pretty good shape. Are you gonna put the corners on and everything else like they had on that one picture?
It would be, I didn't plan to, but with seeing those, what my plan was, I would use, they're called, I'm pretty sure they're called hole screws, and they would be like on like every corner in between, and I would have rebar, like through those hole screws in the ground to like keep it,
Most suggest would be is working with staff as far as putting any kind of protective cover of some sort over it. I don't know what have your baseball fences here, but like the yellow cap on top or that, and that right picture really shows
Yeah.
the
yeah.
Keeps it, nobody keeps those scratch themselves, and everything else.
So if we approve this tonight, when would you want to start on this and what's your estimated finish time?
So, with weather, and all that, I plan to have it in. Probably latest would be like an end of July, but I plan to like have it built and ready probably around June. Just because I still like school and everything else, and I will have to fit in fundraising and all of that. But the supplies and all that, I do plan to hopefully get a month before. Yeah. I get around May, I should say.
Do you foresee any problems raising this much money?
I don't think so. I think this is a pretty affordable price for this project. And we have had Boy Scout recently do fundraising, and they've fundraised quite a bit of money for it. And his was a lot more than mine, so I think I can do this. And it will, like, worst comes to worst, I can pay it out of pocket, it's cheap, and then wouldn't be an issue.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I move to allow Gage Weeder to build a gaga ball pit at Priest Park as an Eagle Scout project.
A second.
All right, Counselor Nard has made the motion to allow Gage Weeder to build a Gaga Ball pit at Priest Park, and Counselor Hanson has seconded that motion. Do we have any concerns? No questions? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, very good. Thank you, Gage, for coming
Thank you.
up. Good luck. Yeah, we look forward to seeing it there.
Thank you.
Hey, can you or John share with us when you're doing some of your fundraisers so that we can make sure that we can promote that as well?
We'll make sure that happens.
Thanks. Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda is the Westbrook Baptist Church, AKA Cross Point Church lease agreement for the rec center. We have Pastor Mills here to present to us.
Hello, just would like to renew that agreement so we can meet as a church on Sunday mornings. It's been a great facility. Ron's done a great job of helping out to just work really well and really smooth. Including my kids is great as guys, my kids and some of the youth that helped to stack and move chairs around. Ron even has purchased some extra carts, and they said they worked really smooth. And they were just super excited about that on Sunday. So those little details, Ron just did really well. Church is growing. So I think we're maybe averaging around 60 people on a Sunday on a regular basis. And so it's kind of fun to see that growth there. I don't believe that we've made any huge impacts in terms of damage or anything. It's just been really good fit. So we really appreciate it. We'd like to continue doing this next year.
Everybody have any questions for Pastor Mills? Don, did you have any?
No, sure.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I approve a motion to the Westbrook Baptist Church, aka Cross Point, lease of the rec center to expire February 2026.
I'll second that.
Counselor Hanson has made a motion to approve the Westbrook Baptist Church, AKA Cross Point, to continue their lease until February of 2026. Counselor Panzer has seconded that motion. Any questions? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You guys need a copy of insurance
Yes.
updated? Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
All right, moving to the next item. That would be the amendment to the 2025 fee schedule. That is resolution 2025-09.
I believe the only addition from your last one is the fee for around $10 a month, I believe it was. For when employees have garnishments, fees charged by the city to carry the garnishment for them. It is allowed by state law, so a lot of cities do that, so. And we have what, 6 or 7 maybe?
6 to 10.
6 to 10.
Thank you.
I know we were only supposed to talk about that one, but I do have a couple questions about some other things, if I may.
Okay.
So I noticed on here, there's a manual card processing fee. Can you explain like what that is?
So we use CanPay to take manual card payments if somebody calls in and wants to pay a bill over the phone. At one point, CanPay had updated so that we had to type in every piece of information about the residents, every part of the address, every part of the card number, including the card's address and zip code. So that's why that was initially put on there. CanPay is updated again, so that all we have to do is enter a zip code now. So that's,
Do they charge us a fee to process a card payment?
they do, but it's in addition to this $5. So it's completely separate. So the service fee was there to start with. And that $5 was an additional for us to type in all the card information, but we don't have to do that anymore. It's just a zip code now.
That seems unfair.
Have these been reviewed before?
Yes,
Yeah.
they were.
We may need to review them again. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, yeah. And then I was also curious about the bulk water. And again, I'm sorry, like, I think when we look at these, or at least for me, we just like, when Dustin would point out, oh, this is what we changed, that's all I would focus on and not some of these other things. So how often are people getting bulk water? Because $300 per 1,000 gallons seems like an outrageous amount of money. I get
We
that.
talked about that one day out here.
Do we have a water salesman there? Is this from the water plant or was this from?
That was spitballing numbers together to put together,
Okay.
an hourly wage of the most expensive water employee, water department employee, the most expensive clerk's office employee per hour. And then our standard water rate per gallon. The issue with bulk water is that there's not really a process for it, and it is a headache for Angela to bill. In addition to having to send somebody out to hook up to the hydrant. So that was a high end that we put together when there's no rate for bulk water. So we needed to set one.
So, go ahead.
The way we had, I understood it was a $300 fee at first. And then we were taking and figure out, what later on down the road, what we would have to do to pay for that. And some of it's paying for the meter in case they break the meter. So the meters aren't cheap. They're pretty expensive.
Yeah.
But, I understand $300 is a lot of money, for 1,000 gallons. But we're trying to get to where, we're not having to go out and do a lot of bulk water anymore. Because it does take a lot of time out of our day.
Since I'm the new kid here too, and I have to learn a lot because I've had snow on the ground since I've been here. But we don't have a salesman we have a water salesman at our water plant that a farmer can come in and get 1,000 gallons.
Okay, so they come down to the city hall,
Okay,
and they make a
They set up an account.
account with us. Okay, so then we have a piece of paper that we write down how many gallons they got. Stuff like that, and then we subtract everything, and then we bring it down to Angela, and then she puts it on the water bill that she has set.
and this is what do they get at the plant?
They get it at the bulk water, yeah. But then we also have companies that come in
Do the fire hydrant meters?
that use the fire hydrant meters.
Okay,
And we have to literally go,
right, I get it, because you know what, then mess about me, I get all that stuff, and then too.
Wouldn't it be more efficient, just have, if they want water, just to go to the water treatment plant and
Not,
fill there? Or do you need to have it at the fire hydrant?
Yeah, the thing is, a lot of the trucks can't fit underneath that.
Okay,
Okay, so, and besides that, if they have to travel all that way back to the water
you
department,
do a lot of street damage, yeah.
yeah, you know, you're looking.
okay. I didn't know what it all contained.
Let me visit with staff on these things. If you have any others, send me an email. And say, "Hey, I'll take a look at that one, we can meet with staff and get a feeling of it, because. You know, I get where you're coming from and want to get the right charge for the, you want to cover city costs, but you also want to be fair to the payers itself.
Yeah, we're gonna table that for now then.
You know, I think you.
Just talk about the garnishments today.
Oh, adapt it now. that
Because
we do it.
you've had this in place already.
Yeah.
This is nothing new. The only thing new is that $10 for the
The garnish.
garnish.
Right.
But I've also, just from the feeling I'm getting from the commission or council, council, is that you want to get what does this all mean?
Mhm.
And I think it's one of the things I can do with you, is we can sit down and help describe those, educate you as commission or council members.
That'd be great.
Sounds good.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thanks.
All right, moving on then, right?
We
We're
have
gonna
to
vote on
vote
it?
on
Okay,
just the garnishment. I
Okay.
mean,
Well,
the garnish.
it's the whole schedule, it's just the
Okay.
addition to it.
Gotcha.
Okay, I got you.
But if you don't make a motion, then nothing changes.
Right,
So-
okay, so we at least want the garnishment, worry about the rest later.
Or we table it, or
No.
like,
No,
no,
that's
we
not-
can't table it.
The other,
Okay.
the other, those other fees are in place now.
Right.
Okay,
Now, I think what the challenge I receive, I'm getting from you tonight is explain to me what these costs all are, and I understand that totally, and we can do that as staff. Sure.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve resolution 2025-09 to amend the 2025 fee schedule.
I'll second.
All right, Counselor Renard has made a motion to amend the 2025 fee schedule for that $10 garnishment. Counselor Hanson has seconded that motion. Any debate?
Okay, so I just want to make sure, we have never charged to process a garnishment before, right?
Not to my knowledge.
So we're collecting some money from.
And then that would be. There's more to it. Some garnishments, when they come through, the order will tell you, you can charge up to this amount. Some just don't have anything. So the ones that don't have anything. That's what the standard fee would be. Yeah, some garnishments have them, some don't, some are built into the orders. It's very dependent on each one.
And this is entered by Steph, right?
Yes,
She has to be, or
HR.
HR, yeah.
Okay.
So do we just make it a flat 10 on everything though, or can you not just make it like, you said that some of them have. But do you just make it a flat 10 on
Yeah.
everything?
So she would divide it between two paychecks. So $5 per paycheck for her entering the garnishment if there's not an amount listed.
So that's what I'm saying, though, if there's an amount listed, do you have to charge that amount, or can you just do the 10? So it's just an easy, like, it's $10.
And yes, easy 10s, but between two paychecks. Some garnishments don't allow a fee, some do, some don't charge people extra, so.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, wouldn't it just be just $10 on every like, unless they can't, instead of different fees, just $10?
I don't know why we need to charge personally, but. I get it, it's a little extra time for Steph, but I feel like we're punishing people. I understand what you're saying, and that would make it easy in my mind. I just think the easiest option would just be to not charge to process a garnishment.
You don't have a dog in this.
I'm on the fence there.
Yeah.
Why would we not charge, you know, on the other hand, why would that individual get themselves in that position that they'd have to have their wages garnished?
I mean,
There's two sides to that, you know.
it would be anything, so any garnishment, whether they chose to not pay a bill and it went to collections and then turned into a garnishment from a paycheck, or child support, or anything that comes out of a paycheck, so
And the $10 is out of their paycheck in
it's
addition.
out of their paycheck in addition to what the garnishment order would be.
I just feel like we're kicking people when they're down a little bit.
Yeah.
But it does cost money to do that too.
Does it cost?
So, yeah,
the
they
city
gotta
money?
take their time and enter all that, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, and then when we
We're
did
trying
our,
to collect some
and when we
money.
did our budget last fall, we said enough of the freebies.
Yes,
Because we need to balance our budget here. at City
Yeah.
Hall, so.
There is cost to staff, I mean, because there's the reports and accuracy and everything else, so they need to order.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm leaning towards it. I would say myself to do it.
Can I say something?
Weed fees and different things in our budget.
Go ahead, Aaron.
During my ownership of Payton's, I dealt with those quite often. I can understand the view from the outside if you're not the one that has to deal with them. If you are one of the individuals that is the one that has to deal with those, it can be an absolute pain. So there's more to it than just simply keying in a few strokes and adding it off somebody's check. So I would support the fee. That's all.
I'll second it.
No, Darcy already
I'll
seconded
second it now.
it.
You're just out of the, that's where you're at.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we just needed discussion.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
So we're not gonna run on.
You are.
Yeah. All right, are we ready? Hearing none, no other comments. Who is in favor of this?
Aye.
Who is opposed?
Nay.
All right, Aaron, I didn't hear you. You were in favor. We already said you were in favor, so it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it would be
Yeah.
one again.
Sorry, there's always a delay on hitting the mute button.
There it is, yeah. Okay, so we got through that one, and now we're moving on to the police vehicle purchase approval. Agenda item report 25-011. Chief Benny?
Called tonight to see about getting approval for up to $90,000 for 2 vehicles plus upfitting. I found out whenever I was looking into vehicles before Dustin left, that I would find vehicles and go to look at purchasing them. And people would not hold them for you, they would just sell them, so I was never able to bring the vehicles with the cost in front of council to show what I would like to purchase. So Dustin suggested we go to Citizens Bank and get pre-approval for up to 90,000. I don't want to spend anywhere near that. But to give us a cushion for purchasing 2 vehicles with upfitting. I've approached them, they did do approval with 6.23% financing for 3 years. And just bring it in front of y'all to request the approval on up to that amount.
Is that in our police budget where we can make those payments for vehicles? We have so much setback for vehicles a year.
the first payment's gonna be, of course, in 2026.
Okay,
So the question would be, is again, from the time we dissect the budget yet, is there enough money this year to make a partial this year and borrow less money? I don't know that yet,
okay,
because I,
yeah, because I couldn't remember in this budget for this year what we allowed for car expenses.
We didn't go into that.
We didn't go into that at all.
Right.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
We just discussed it and know that we were already down one and then I had another one go out on us within 2 or 3 months ago. So,
to just get the proper language here, it'd be lease purchase,
correct.
not loan, lease purchase. And basically what he's asking for is authority to have up to $90,000 to obtain lease purchase funds to purchase not more than 2 used police vehicles.
So if there would be any money left in this year's budget, it could be towards that, right? If they did.
Don't know.
Don't know yet.
And the question I think you have to watch it as again, as we walk about it and how long I'll be here, is the point is you don't always have to spend your budget. You can create cash carryovers and stuff like that, which I'm a big fan of. And because things do happen. And so when there's money left over in the budget, I think also looking where your cash balance is at the same time.
Okay. Makes sense.
Well, you're not gonna ever get any cars if you don't have the money to buy.
Yeah.
It's gonna
We'll be out here
keep
walking.
selling. Yeah.
Just a minute, if we get the car started, we'll come down and get help.
Right.
I'll go ahead and do the proposed motion. I move to approve the $90,000 from Sioux State Bank to purchase 2 police vehicles and the uplifting and updating. The payment will be made from the accounts 0101222,000 and 010122999 and 001123920 and 00010124125 as appropriated.
Councilman, can I make a suggestion again, but could you say not to exceed 2 vehicles? That way if he finds one, somebody says, well, you authorized 2, and he's going like, I can't find 2.
Mhm.
So it gives him the ability to work with, he may find something nice at 40,000, but, and then he finds something that's 55,000, so he can only afford one this year. And I think he has to be able to have the ability to get a vehicle that fits his department, and he's gonna be responsible for maintenance, everything else out of his budget. So if I would make a suggestion, I'd have the words not to exceed, or it said 2, not to exceed 2.
Okay, not to exceed 2 vehicles.
And which ones are these replacing?
This is replacing the old Crown Vic that went down, I guess, a year or 2 ago before I got here. We have a 2014 Ford Explorer that just went down in.
Is that the one we bought from Great Bend?
No, the one from Great Bend happened to be under warranty, thank goodness, when it went down and I was able to take it and get it fixed with no charge.
Okay, so but that's not any, that, are we still using that for the dog?
No, I got the canine insert donated for the 2020 Dodge Durango from ESU Pursuits, and we had that put in the Durango. And that Explorer is now being used for patrol.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All right, Counselor Panzer has made a motion to approve the 2 police car lease purchase agreement with Citizen State Bank not to exceed $90,000 for 1 or 2 vehicles.
Not to exceed 2.
Not to exceed 2. And Councilor Bernard has seconded that motion. Any debate, any concerns about this? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. The appointment to the Substance Abuse Task Force. Mariana?
With Dustin resigning, that leaves an opening on your substance abuse task force. It is council president, city administrator, a police officer. So the question to you guys, do you want to appoint Alan in the interim to that, or do you want to leave a vacancy there until we get a permanent city administrator?
What does Alan want?
Oh,
We don't.
You don't.
oh, okay.
I don't think it matters either way.
I don't think that's anyway. He's interested.
Yeah, just, and I don't know what the bylaws say either, so,
I don't think there are violent.
okay. He's fine.
I think we might as well appoint him. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's not like we're gonna go hunting for somebody tomorrow. So you're gonna be here with us for a while. Get comfy.
All right, so I guess I would make the appointment of Alan Dinkle to the Substance Abuse Task Force upon the approval of the council. So do we do a roll call vote, or do we just go and vote on it?
You can vote on it.
Okay. Any concerns about this? No? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. The next one, upcoming board appointments and governing body election. Marianne?
Okay, so, with that passing, assuming we don't get any, petitions against the charter ordinance 27, that removes the mayoral appointment and puts it in the hands of the council. The list of openings there that I have for you are all boards that will either need reappointments of current positions, or they will be vacant coming in May. So, this is really just a plug of, we need to start having those conversations with the current position holders, see if they want to remain in their boards. If they don't, we need to start finding people to fill the vacancies so that come May, the council can fill those. There are some boards that are completely vacant. Again, please do what you can to get those filled. That Public Building Commission has been vacant for several months. We don't drastically need it filled, but we do need to have it filled in case something were to come up that we need to send to the building commission.
When's the last time you used your BBC?
What is its point?
Public building commissions are in place for building projects a lot of times because it does help in some bonding issues and there's some authorities outside from the city. I had one of these when I was city manager in Hoyston. One now down there, and again, maybe suggesting something we can look at with the city attorney, is in some cities, the governing body, the elected governing body is the PBC. I don't know if you ever have a project, have you ever had a building project come up for a building or an addition to a building?
Yeah, I've used the PBC other places. I haven't since I've been in Ellsworth. You're of course describing it correctly. I don't know if there's anything contemplated with the PBC right now, so I don't believe any of the upcoming things that Kevin Collins working on with the PBC, so we probably are just holding it in case we need it someday for a rainy day, but I like it, yeah, that's all I know about it.
And maybe this is one of those where you rewrite the ordinance and name the governing body as the PBC members. And if that ever happens, like on Hoyston, we actually had a PBC for the hospital. We had a PBC meeting, we had a city commission meeting at 7 and a PBC meeting at 8. And they're separate, but they're same people, but separate activities. And that needs all the law, but it might be something that Patrick and I can look at. That way it's full, that way in case you ever did, again, I don't know of any upcoming projects that did have one. But they're good to have too.
What other ones are vacant, Marilyn?
What else?
Planning commission has one up because they,
Yeah, Marion Morton resigned, so that's the position that's open that we use most often. The rest of them will just need filled in May. Or reappointed in
Library
May.
board told me that there was one opening available now on the library board.
Not that we're aware of.
Okay, I'll get clarification because I got a letter for an appointment now, but let's get clarification on that.
Okay,
Because I see there are 2 coming up and I know one of them is probably not gonna return. So I mean, is that the one they're talking about? Is there another one? I don't know. They said they're down 1 right now, but you're not showing that?
Yeah, because, what's her name? The head of the library, Colleen. She called me and said that, she'd like to name this person to be on that board.
Right.
And I said, I didn't know you were looking for somebody. So,
Yeah, I've got the letter here.
oh, you got the letter. Okay.
Mayor, Colleen mentioned me that a couple meetings ago, and then she asked me to call the Central Kansas Library
Right.
Director, and I have actually called, and I guess it's the holidays, I actually called her during the day, but we haven't made, she's called me back a couple times, I've called her a couple times, and we still haven't talked. I don't know if that's useful or not. But I think Colleen wanted to get clarification, but I haven't been able to talk to that person, so.
Okay,
we can see that decently. Yeah, we don't show any vacancies in our office.
okay. Those people are all the ones that are on the board, so maybe that, that was about, I think Judy is looking at. Yeah, her term was up in May. And then Johnny. Why don't we get could you do me a favor and clarify that with her?
Yeah,
Because I was told, and I got the letter, and I was told this before the Christmas party that she wanted to be on the board. She's been on the board before. And that they had a vacancy and they wanted to put her on now. And said I can do it till like February, and then I can't do it. Okay. All right, so that one, so I guess the question now is. What do we want to do about this? My preference is that you all have a better network than I've got. You know, combined, you're gonna be able to fill these positions a lot easier than I can. Why don't we wait until, what is it, special ordinance 27 passes? Which is only another month and 10 days. And then go ahead and fill them.
well, we got on May.
yeah, you have till May.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fairly
We're
done.
all right.
Get started. Okay,
I
yeah,
think you need a planning commissioner right now,
okay.
and that's in town, right? Yes, yeah.
So last month, the library board were only really worried about the planning commission, and we're ready to go.
Right, we need a resident or a city resident.
Do we have a name for that position?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
How about Wayne? He's right there.
I have a guy that's supposed to turn a letter of, interest.
Okay, good, good.
I'll
Okay.
get hold of him.
Yeah, cool.
Go ahead and get it in.
Okay. All right, so do we need to take any action on this?
No, this was
Just
just,
awareness.
yeah.
Okay. All right, so next item, the designation of K 156 as a main traffic way within the city of Ellsworth, ordinance 3167.
Since Mr. Callen cannot be here tonight, we had another city council meeting and I've done these before. Basically, this is that project on McConville and 156. There's two parts to this. One part is to declare that area as a major traffic way. And by doing so, then it gives the council the authority to start a funding process for the project. And if I got the project down pat, it is gonna be the CLIC money CLIC money has already been approved.
Yeah.
Has been approved, yeah.
I probably don't know as much, how much, but this is the turning lane project on Humboldt. It's been one of the ones I think the council, Alan asked me if the council was familiar with it. And I said, well, my recollection is that these kinds of turning lane projects have been in the works for quite a while, and I don't think it's unexpected, like, if I was wrong, I apologize.
And this project here is C-CLIP's gonna cover up to $1 million. 95%, I believe, to $1 million of the participating costs. Stuff like land acquisition is usually not a land or utility relocation are usually not reimbursable costs. So, but the downside of these projects and the KDOT ones, and I've had these before, is that the city got to pay it all. And so that's why you need temporary financing to pay it all. And then you'll get your check back from KDOT. And I've had projects that are quick, and I've had projects not so quick getting money back. So this actually puts it in place, gets the project started. And I believe the city has to act on this project, has to get in the built, or at least under contract this year. And get into contract and get it going. And, you know, why wouldn't you? Because a large majority was going to be paid by outside funds. But you need this financing. I believe you had the same thing on Douglas here. When you did Douglas as part of the K-14.
Yeah. Is it a low percentage financing, or how they charge the city for that?
It'll be a normal, whatever. Okay, so when we move this on and we're ready for the funds, this will give Kevin the authority to move forward now. I mean, this is making it, we have two pieces here. This makes it a declaration of a major traffic way. Okay, so that puts in one. The next piece you're gonna talk about is starting the process. And we won't start the process or bid it out until we need the funds. But it also takes that 30 to 60 days, because there's a location notices here we have to have.
And our interest rate on the temp note will be similar to what we pay in bond.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be the temp note interest that the city pays will be very similar to a bond interest.
Right.
It's probably gotten up in last time I don't quote it, but it's not a high interest loan that we can pay.
Okay.
But you're still getting a lot of project
For your
for
money.
the dollar.
Yeah, okay.
You're using KDOT funds. The only problem with the KDOT funds on some projects is you gotta pay it all and then get reimbursement in the rears.
Yeah, because on 156, when they shut 156 and I-70 down last weekend, I couldn't believe it. The traffic count at Great Bend was 14,000 cars a day. Take 156 through Great Bend, by the time they get up to here, it's around 8,000 to 10,000. Sometimes as high as 12,000 cars a day go by Ellsworth out here. That's a lot of people going on there. I didn't realize there was that much traffic on that highway.
This is probably dangerous. My recollection was at first the city wanted to do a turning lane at Old 40, and I think we couldn't do it there. And so we started doing them further south. Does that sound right to anyone else on council, or am I just making that up? I could be wrong. But that's years ago. I'm talking about like several years ago. Wayne, I'm looking at you. Does that sound right at all? When we started doing turning lane projects, the first one, we were talking about Highway 40, and then we ended up doing the one on 8th Street, right?
Yeah, they did one on Highway
40
40.
and 56 are done.
Yeah, 40 and 156 is done.
This is just.
This is another one. This is kind of a continuation of doing turning lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we told.
Yeah, okay. It's just amazing how many cars do go through there.
This ordinance here, 3167 declares as a main traffic way.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve ordinance 3167 to designate K 156 as a main traffic way within Ellsworth City limits.
I'll second that.
President of the Council Coates has made a motion to designate K 156 as a main traffic way within the city of Ellsworth. Councilor Hess Panzer has seconded that motion. Any debate, concerns about that? None? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Next item on the agenda would be the authorization of the bond issuance for the K 156 Kunkel Drive Turn Lane Improvement Project, Resolution 2025-10.
Correct. Again, it's kind of like I just said a second ago, this starts putting it in place because before you can get funding, there's numerous amount of publications and everything else. So by doing it now, it then sets it as the city moves forward with this project. And I am meeting with Brad with Benish.
Brad Wallace.
Yeah, in 2 weeks. And so we'll learn more about the project and start moving forward. And I'm not sure what percentage of design is in there or not, but this just gets started with things in place for you.
Okay, I make a motion to approve resolution 2025-10 to authorize improvement of K 156 at Kunkel Drive and authorize the issuance of temporary note for the payment of project costs.
I'll second.
Councilor Panther has made a motion to approve the bond issuance for the K 156 Kunkel Drive Turn Lane Improvement Project, Resolution 2025-10. Councilor Hanson has seconded that motion. Any concerns? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Looks like we are now on to the summary part of our meeting with the department heads and Central Inspection Department. Come on up, Bill.
You guys have the list I put on there for the building permits. We had one less than last year. We didn't have as big of a project, so I didn't take in as much money, but we're pretty much the same as we were last year.
Be good.
And Steve has the code he wanted to present to him.
Right.
We did last year.
Are we not doing the archaeology?
That would be down towards the end.
I saw that
And
executive.
that will actually be followed the executive session because we need to have some discussion in the executive session that leads to this. No,
Leads to that, okay. got it.
so the executive session will be first.
I got you.
Um,
Then the open session for the
and
archaeology.
then, right,
Okay.
and that'll help you
Process.
type things together.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, Steve, go ahead.
Okay, with a little history, 2022, we had one nuisance violation issue. In 23, we issued out 134 door hangers, and we had 44 violation cases. This last year, we had 108 door hangers, which was a 20% decrease, and 23 violation cases. So it was almost a 50% decrease there. So what happens, we do the door hanger, we give them time to get things fixed, and if it doesn't happen, then we proceed with the nuisance violation. Most of the time, that's what works. However, this last year, we did have, we had 4 repeat offenders from the previous year and still dragging their feet. So we have been sending people to municipal court. And that seems to have worked really well. So out of the 5 cases that went to municipal court, 4 of them are resolved and 1 of them is still pending. So it appears that people are getting the idea. I mean, and the truth is, a lot of this stuff has never been enforced. So it's been on the books, but it's out of sight, out of mind. So anyway, we've been making progress. Any questions? All right, thanks.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah, thank you. Fire Chief Ralph, do you have anything?
Good evening. Should be pretty straightforward. I believe the statutes require me to report at the beginning of each year, the election of the officers for the department, and they have remained the same. So I'll be acting as fire chief for the continuing year. And then, I guess the only other thing to say is, obviously, the storm has started us off with quite a bang, and so we've already had like about 20 alarms, and we're only 13 days into the year, so, but anyhow, so that really just to fulfill the responsibility to report that I have been elected as fire chief by the members, and will thus be acting in that role. So, if there's any questions?
Congratulations.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you for your job during the storm. Yeah, very good. Very nice. Golf. Chief Penny, did you have anything else?
Technical issues with my computer, I don't have service for y'all to report on that. Once I get that figured out, I'll get it in here. Only thing I want to say is I want to thank, Councilman Panzer for calling me whenever this storm came in on Saturday and informing me of what our procedures usually are with, the emergency shelter. Kind of came as a surprise to me because, I mean, being new, I didn't know that I was in charge of it, I guess, but, knowing that, I hope moving forward that I can at least come up with a plan ahead of time that we take care of business, and if we know a storm like this is coming in, that we get it set up ahead of time. Once I got the call, Sergeant Kennard, Mariana, Officer Ward, and my wife and I all came down here and got busy and got it set up before we had people that were stranded coming in, so we at least got it set up in time and people weren't just hanging out waiting on it.
Now, is it advertised? Is that how they know, or do they just come off the interstate, say I'm in trouble and I need?
I think it's just one of those deals that, because after I was advised of it, I let dispatch know at the sheriff's department, so whenever the sheriff's department or highway patrol had people stranded, they knew to bring them here.
Right.
Just put them up till they could get their car and out you.
And then I called the motel after I talked to chief, and this all got started. We got, gosh, bless Angela, because I had no idea. So I called Angela and she says, we have bottled water, we've got cots and everything in City Hall. I said, well, that's news to me, because all last year we never had any emergencies to even talk about it. So that's good, but it makes me think that we as a city council need to get together with the emergency preparedness director so everybody knows what's going on, because not everybody really knew who was responsible and what was even offered in the community.
Right.
And it's no one's really at fault, but it's just communication, I think.
And that, like, you know, like I said, if it's laid on me to be responsible for it, that's fine, but I want to come up, I want to know that I'm in charge of it, and I want to have a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And was there any vandalism or any problems at all that you seen?
No, everybody respected the property.
Okay, we had, what, 40 different people for 2 nights?
We had about 20 people each night, Saturday and Sunday night. The citizens of Ellsworth are awesome. I mean, the fire department found out that they were down there, so they started bringing food. Word got out to all the citizens, and citizens brought so much food and stuff up there that food, blankets, air mattresses, just everything to help out. And the people that stayed here were super appreciative of the city.
Because I did call the motel because they were just getting bombarded with phone calls. And I told them that we're gonna make this available after I talked to you. And they were relaying that information on the people that was calling them for rooms, because they were booked solid. There was no place to go. And in the meantime, I guess if we would ever fill up, that the Legion Hall said they could be available too as a backup. So that tells me as a community, we need to get together and everybody have share their resources and see what we can do as a whole. Actually, the Legion up there would be better, because if they got to the motel, it's not that far for them to get to the Legion. They could walk over there if they had to, if they get stranded.
Right.
But it was nice that we had this too, so.
Right. The only place we'd run into a problem is if electricity goes out.
Yeah.
I mean, because we don't have any generators anywhere, so that'd be the only problem we'd run into in that situation.
Well, shout out to you guys, the police department, for all your hard work and extra, because it put Ellsworth on the map, and it was all good reviews and everything I read, so thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank your wife for us.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
And thanks, Alan, if you remember in your interview, that's what we talked about. Like, once you take the job, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
And it happened, that's kind of,
We,
it happened, that's just what happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get the job and 24 hours later, you got a crisis.
So both of you,
They did a great
both
job.
of you are so new, you had no idea what's going on.
And you know, I mean, I'm meeting with the emergency preparedness later this week, just
Yeah.
get to know them and
Right.
get protocols in place.
Yeah.
I think, and I gotta say, it's a heck of a snow from, or heck of a snowstorm from my first winter up here. It's no being right.
Welcome aboard.
Very good, thank you, chief. Thank you, Don, appreciate all your work.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Rec director, no Ronnie tonight. Is Troy here?
No.
They did a great job. I don't think anybody can say enough good about it. I mean, and you got a limitation with the equipment. If we had all the equipment in the world, we could do more, but we don't, and he just did a great job. And had a lot of compliments, a lot of comparisons to Salina, and we compared. You know, so
And
it's
for
good.
the record, the number one thing I heard was, oh my gosh, I got my driveway shovel. And then the city went by and cleaned in the streets and they put snow in front of my driveway again. There's no way physically you could change that, I don't think. The only answer is wait until the city goes by and then clean your driveway because you're probably not gonna go anywhere until after the city goes by anyway.
But
So-
sometimes the problem with that, and I mean, I know this because mine got, that snow gets heavy, and if you're elderly.
Yeah,
They push all that snow and then it starts to melt or gets a cap on it. If you don't have a snow blower, it's a lot of snow to move
Yeah.
for people.
but I don't how. I
No,
don't-
there's not a way to fix that, I
There's
know
not a way to
that.
fix it though, because you can't have the city guys go around cleaning out everybody's driveways in town either, so. It's just, it happens maybe once every 5 years, and we're just gonna have to live with it when it happens, I guess.
Yeah.
Unless anybody has any better ideas. One guy said to have them turn the blade, but if they do that, they're gonna shove it across the street, double it on the other side, the other person's driveway. So I don't know what the answer is, but anyway, that's the only complaint I had, and I think we have to live with that.
I know a bunch of 14-year-olds made a lot of money.
Yeah.
So it did improve the economy that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Alan brought up a really good point. So I had a call for somebody who's was in an accident and they could not shovel snow. He made a great point. He's like, you gotta be careful of, as soon as you promise for one person to clear their driveway out.
Yeah.
Here we go. So we did, and I offered to go over there myself. I said, if worst comes to worst, I will come over there and shovel it. And that's when they said, no, we got kids. And so they ended up finding another solution. So,
Yeah, I had kids do mine tonight.
Yeah. right. So it worked out
Very good.
very good. Yeah.
Ralph, did you have something?
Actually, I would just add one thing that's kind of come up in the conversation. Chief Penny's aware of this, but the county actually has an organization called the LEPC, which is their local emergency planning committee. And all the department heads are represented, not all of ours, but throughout the county are represented. And obviously we work very well with the emergency management on that. So we're actually meeting next week and I can bring some of this stuff before them, but you're also welcome to come to that as city council members.
Oh, okay. Where's it gonna be at?
And so we meet every quarter, we meet the fourth Thursday, the third Thursday. Help me out, chief. I gotta look at my calendar here. Of every quarter. So this meeting is going to be is January. And usually we've been meeting up at the EMS. So this one is the 23rd. So it is the fourth Thursday. We meet at 6 o'clock. And it's either at the courthouse or the EMS. They send out an email. But the purpose of that local emergency planning committee is to pre-plan, and sometimes they're not as exciting as other, but major impacts that affect the counties, whether it be snowstorms, tornadoes, train derailments, emergencies that we end up in the middle of, but also how does that disseminate out to other entities getting involved and then responding well past the initial first responder emergency. So that is available. I can get you information on that. Matter of fact, I could forward some emails because and get you on that there, but you're more than welcome to come to that because you are on city council.
What time was, did you say what time?
It will be 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
23rd.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ralph.
Thank you. Okay, water and sewer foreman, so that would be you, no? Or David? David, did you have anything?
No.
Okay, very good. City attorney, did you have any updates?
I don't have anything.
Okay, thank you. City clerk, deputy city clerk, or what is your title?
Deputy,
That's what I thought. So Angela is what? The
Interim.
interim. Okay, that's right. Got to get those two straight. Okay. I see them as the same in my mind, but they're different.
They are. I don't know that we have anything, but I'm going to do a plug for Penny since he forgot some stuff. There is a retirement party planned for Nikki Bernie on the 24th. It's a Friday at from 6 to 8 at the 900 room. He has a really fancy flyer that he can email out if you would like it.
How many years has Mickey been with the city? You know?
20?
20-some years?
We're guessing. He's guessing.
When is that?
The 24th from 6 to 8. It is his last shift working. And we think he'll go out with a bang. So that's your hint. Please don't speed, don't do anything crazy. 24th. Mickey will get you.
Anything else? Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. Interim city administrator, Alan, do you have anything?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I feel like a new city manager, administrator as I was back in 1989, so just thought I'd know a little bit more, I think. Getting to know the lay of the land here, and of course, meeting the employees and through the town. Of course, I haven't had a chance to travel town yet because we haven't got the snow off of it, but we did work with the street department. They did a good job, I think, through the snow with the equipment they had. You know, he was very responsive to me through that time, so no real issues there. You're never gonna get 100% right. I've been through actually bigger snows in my career, and you do the best you can and always keep moving forward and you try to treat everybody as respect as possible. You know, it's a disaster and you just have to learn with it. I do think we have found some points, especially with the emergency shelter we had in here, is maybe get some plans in place a little bit, some protocols. Because, you know, as much good as we did, I think, and good for the community, you know, we gotta make sure the city has no liability. What happens if you get somebody in the shelter that is not as good as person as some of us are, and those things, and how do you weed through those? And I think those are things we just have to talk about. And again, I'm meeting with Mr. Harper, I believe that's his name, later this week, and we can get to start to meet everybody. Meeting with the insurance guy, because I know our insurance renewal is coming up for our property and liability insurance. So moving towards that, but so far everything's going well, and everybody's great to work with. Thank you.
Good. All right, city council, Tyler, do you have anything?
No.
No. Jessica?
No.
Don?
Yeah, just a couple things. This is business from last year, which sure Mr. Dinkle has been aware of. Chief Penny, we talked about getting those stop signs and slow signs up by the pool. Do you know if those ever got ordered or where we're at on that?
I do not. I would have to get with Troy to find out.
Okay. And then we were talking about getting rid of the 30-minute parking downtown and maybe making those handicap parkings that we come
I
up with.
believe those signs are gone.
Okay.
We did make, handicap parking, over by Hattie Joe's,
Okay,
down towards the end by the co-op, because there was already kind of a ramp there. And then the other ones, we decided, Troy and I got together and figured that they were in good places anyway.
okay, so the signs are down, then you added one, no, handicap, okay, good. Okay, I just didn't know if we had addressed that yet.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and like I said before, a shout out to the police department for everything they did with the snowstorm. Thank you very much, chief. That's all I have.
Well, very good, thank you. Aaron, do you have anything?
No.
Darcy? Leaves me, and then we're gonna go into executive session after this. Yeah, just a lot of positive things have happened in here recently. I think everybody's thankful for the response that we gave, and everybody for the snowstorm, police department, fire department, EMS, streets, this admin department. You know, how do we close the office? How do we do all that? They work through it, and it's hard when you're brand new. And then the city council and myself, so we got through that and, you know, just a lot of positive developments in the community. And I don't think I have anything else besides just thanking everybody for that. So the executive session, we'll go into it first, correct?
Yeah, before the discussion.
Okay.
Acquisition or discussion of acquisition of real property.
How many minutes?
20 probably, I think, fine.
That sounds good.
So it's Wayne,
All right,
With Brian Foster.
Brian Foster, city attorney, myself.
Brian, is there somebody else with you?
Andrew.
Andrew Sagan?
Yes.
Am I saying this one?
Do we want Mariana?
I don't know what's best practice here. I'm not,
hit or miss, it's hit or miss.
I'm not
Yeah,
I'm old school that's.
Dealer's choice.
Then exclude, just be, at
Excellent, okay.
this point in time, I think.
okay. Okay.
Brian, what's his name again?
Andrew Fagan.
Andrew Sagan. Okay. Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to adjourn into executive session to protect the city's financial interests in bargaining position for the preliminary discussion of the acquisition of real property. For the presentation and so, is that our one thing? There's two things listed, okay. To include the governing body, interim city administrator, city attorney, Brian Foster and Andrew Fagan. To come out at 7 p.m.
Well, second.
All right, so President of the Council Coates has made a motion to go into executive session to protect the city's financial interest in bargaining position for the preliminary discussion, the acquisition of real property, include governing body, the city attorney, the interim city administrator, Brian Foster, Andrew Fagan. Coming.
So do we need a motion to start preparing?
No.
I have to pick a,
It's right here. What do you do? How do you come out of executive session? Do you make?
You shouldn't have to make a
no,
vote.
we're just back in open.
Okay.
Back in open meeting, okay.
Oh, I'm used to saying, where no action was taken and no decision made.
A lot of people say no action taken, which makes sense. But you don't actually have to make a motion.
They're good, that's right.
Yeah.
In front of you, the packet was proposals for cultural study. It was a cultural study. I recommend the city commission to, accept one of those proposals contingent upon permission from respective landowners. Access from landowners.
And did it say in here that, yeah, Deb wanted us to do our first choice and then a second choice?
Yeah.
Correct, in case they can't.
Is there anything, like, there's a pretty big price difference between these, so
In our
like,
conversation last week, he thought they were all qualified firms.
The only thing that was different in the proposals is that the K and K did not mention anything about submitting to the Historical Society,
so that potentially would have another fee.
additional cost.
Yeah,
But I can't imagine it would be $8,000.
I wouldn't think so either.
I
So
mean,
they're all three good? I mean, okay. We want K and K and then K and B, KB.
I would say KB and then K and K would be second, since they don't submit. Cause that says without preparation and submission to the Kansas State Historical Society.
Yeah.
So I would say we do the K and B and then the K and KB are second, cause like I said, I can't imagine that. To submit to the Kansas State Historical Society would cost us $8,000, I would hope not. Is that what you do, Bryce?
I think you do.
Okay, I'm just looking at the bids and I'm like, 5,000 to 13,000, that's a big, huge amount.
59.
Okay, well, Mr. Mayor, I move to accept the proposal from KB Archaeological Consulting. Contingent on reference checks and understanding of how any change orders or additional area would be priced. The second option for the project would be K and K Environmental LLC. Based on the same conditions, payment is to be made from account 090-90-2999.
Then you wanna add the contingent upon permission, right?
And contingent upon permission from landowner.
Yeah. That's.
Respective landowner.
Property.
Sound legal? Good?
I'll second.
Okay, so Tyler made a motion to accept a proposal from K and B Archaeological Consulting wastewater improvements as the first choice. And the K and K Environmental LLC proposal as a second choice, contingent on reference checks and understanding of how many change orders for additional area would be priced. The second option would be, like I said, would be the K and K Environmental LLC based on the same conditions, payments to be made from the account 090-90-2999. And President of the Council Coates, second on the motion, or is it, okay?
Yeah.
All right,
And
any
you also added that contingent upon permission from the landowner. Did you add that?
contingent upon permission from the landowner? All right, any debate, any concerns about this? Okay. All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. We'll go with K and B Archaeological Consulting. With that said, we need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion that we adjourn.
All right,
Second.
Counselor Panzer has made a motion to adjourn. Counselor Hanson has seconded the motion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you guys for coming.
Are you
Yeah,
gonna
thank
be
you guys
around
for
in the
coming.
morning?
Also, I have training.
You have training tomorrow?